live from the Times Union Center. We are joined by the head coach of the Siena Saints, Jimmy Patsos. Jimmy, you've been ducking me. I don't know what happened to our love.
You know what it is? Because we're down the stretch we go. And no matter what happens, I plan on coming in with my March Madness picks and bracket.
See, that's what I need. That's the Patsos interview I like. Because, I mean, I'm too scared to ask you questions about basketball.
I want us in Villanova. So my assistant, Ryan Harkins, Shark, the Dobo, he was on the bench. My director of operations was on the bench last year at Villanova. So we want to play the Wildcats in the first round.
In Buffalo, Coach, right? In New York State. Make it happen.
That'd be perfect. We love Buffalo.
So we got a big game tonight, 7 p.m. Monmouth, and I know you love when I say this. Easy win, right?
You look. Well, Single Ace got me the other day. He's like, clearly they're the best team in the league and everything. Yeah, what do you want me to say, Mark? We have no shot and we're going to lose. So he writes, we have no shot and we're going to lose. He doesn't write the other part.
Right.
In other words, King Rice, great coach. Their assistant, Rick Callahan, I love. You know, they really got gypped last year where they didn't get to go to the NCAA, I thought. And I thought they would have been a great story. But forget that, they're a great team. But we're playing really well, and we're looking forward to the challenge. The scheduling snafu is that we haven't played Marist and Monmouth until the last 2 weeks of the season, and that's fine. Marist played the best game of the year. They shot the ball. They made 10 of their first 11 shots. They played great. The crowd was great. We had a great fan bus. We got this guy, Frank, who leads our – we've had 5 bus trips, and we've gone 5-0. Thank God, because they probably would have put me on the front of the bus like the Road Warrior. Like the Road Warrior. I would have been strapped to the front. The Lord humongous. And anyways, nice. We had great bus support down there, but that excites Marist, and they were fired up for that game, and they played really well, and we really gutted it out. And I'm really proud of our kids, and to come back and now we play the best team in the league. This is what I talked about our emotions. You know, we have to control our emotions, but be excited to play. The good news is they're ready to play Monmouth. Monmouth, clearly the top team in the league. But we're going to give them all they want. It's going to be a really King Rice, a friend of mine, a really good coach. Robinson, an upstate New York kid. Colin Stewart, an upstate New York kid. Before I got the job, they were already going to Monmouth. They got Brady and they got James on the inside. But this guy, Seaborn, was the Rookie of the Year for a reason last year. And Hornbeek, who's from a transfer from Oklahoma. They have four of their top 6 guys are seniors. So it's going to be a really good game. That being said, I'm looking forward to the challenge. Like I said, I love Mark Singlace. He covers us really well. But we were joking, saying, what do you want to say? That was the old John Thompson line about Maryland. When John Thompson first had Georgetown going, it was, what do you want me to say? We have no chance. I mean, we have a chance because we're playing.
Right.
And we have a chance right now. It's going to be a really good game. But they're the class of the league like they were last year. But Iona got them in the playoffs. We want to try and get them tonight and then build momentum for the MAC championships here in the Times Union Center.
Jimmy Patsos with us. Now, this team this year, you've had to push some interesting buttons now and again.
Yes.
I got to ask the Nico Clarith question.
Fine, you guys can ask it.
Yeah, so how did this all come to pass? I mean, I'm happy to see the kid out there playing well again.
Sure, he's part of the family. We don't quit on kids. I didn't get in coaching to quit on kids or blame. Hey, when they win, it's the players who deserve the credit. When we lose, it's my fault. I did a bad job of coaching. It's no problem. There's no line there. Okay? I understand that. But I'm not going to, dish on a kid and leave him. He needed to finish something academically. He needed his knee to get healthy. He wasn't shooting the ball well. That was driving him crazy because I know he puts high expectations. But he went and did a great job in this Habitat for Humanity over the break. When he took a little break, he had to finish up this kind of Christmas thing he did. And his knee, he took 3 weeks off. And his knee, he got to go to a rehab. And you don't get better unless you really take some time off. My point was, why'd you play? Well, I had to play because I want to put numbers up and help the team win. I get it. Kids, in other words, it's a funny situation. You think you're helping the team, but if you can't play as well as you are you? This isn't Tom Brady and Garoppolo, okay? This is This is a situation where I always wanted you to get everything together, and he's really come back, and he's rebounded, and his energy's been great. But we had a couple of talks, and John D'Argenio, my boss, was involved with some of these talks. But the last one at the Chinese restaurant up on, this is no BS. We met Super Bowl Sunday, and we had a nice chat. And it was like there's no better example than how the Patriots all work together, whether it's the owner, because we have an AD and a president, and then me, the coach, and then the players. It's not just him. I got to have talks with Javion and Brett and Levon and Marquise. I need talks, Thank God I got a good wife. I have a great coach's wife. But Nico and I just, with Greg Manning, said, hey, this is easy. You just, you coach, we'll coach, you play. You've done everything you're supposed to off the court. You seem good. You want to practice tomorrow? I do. I said, because do you see how precious the games are? Tom Brady missed 4 games. That'd be like missing 12 basketball games, right?
Right.
I said, do you see how he plays with a kid-like enthusiasm, but yet he's tough? And then he goes out and has, by the way, can we talk about what a great game that was?
Absolutely.
Greg Manning's from Atlanta, Falcons fan.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he wrote the Niners a message and said, have fun with Kyle. He'll never be confused with Bill Walsh.
No.
Well, let's go back to that Super Bowl Sunday, because from us in the media, it was a quick turnaround when Nico's back on the court. For a lot of us, it was almost unexpected. Was it unexpected?
Yeah,
for his
sorry
teammates?
I forgot to consult with the media. I know that this is the only time in the country that I'm supposed to consult with the media before I do anything, including like calling timeout.
I did notice my phone didn't ring.
With that being said, I don't mind not getting the call, but what about the teammates? Were teammates surprised by Nico's return?
No, you just brought him in, and the first thing you do is say, hey, you got to talk to your teammates, because we practice at 12:30, and then we took off for Iona. My point was, it's Super Bowl Sunday. We're not going today. I'm still a great American. I don't care who the president is. I like Super Bowl Sunday off for my team.
Right.
Super Bowl Sunday, church at St. Mary's, go to the Super Bowl. Am I allowed to say which church I go to, or am I going to get in trouble for that, too?
Say whatever you want.
Say whatever you want, Coach.
Thank you. Carte blanche, like Howard Stern in Private Parts.
Absolutely.
So you do the regular things you do, but it's Super Bowl Sunday. You can't practice.
Right.
And so,
It's a holiday.
hey, I wanted to see Lady Gaga.
Yeah. Great job, huh?
It was great.
Jumped off a roof.
I'm just saying, now it's Monday, and I just said on Sunday, why wouldn't you practice tomorrow? Like, we're here. Right. Like, the season's here. You know the plays. He's a very intelligent guy, Nico, very cerebral player. And clearly a couple guys on the team were, of course, we should bring him right back, and a couple said we want to hear from him, and I said, okay. And he got up. I just introduced, said, hey, he wants to talk to you. Then I left, and they gave me thumbs up, practice, come off the bench the rest of the year, let's play, we're good. Then he does the same thing playing well at Marist, and he's a family member for 2 years that has done really well. He's played really well. He's accepted his role off the bench. He's probably a starter's minutes type guy because of his ability. Last year, he got 6th man of the year. Okay, so he didn't play so well. So he had an injury. So he had some things go wrong. We all think, we're more important than we are, including myself and you guys. But on the other hand, this is Tony Dungy stuff.
Right.
But on the other hand, sometimes it just gets to be too much, So
Right.
you got to take a deep breath. Whether it's me going to my little Chinese food and watching Law and Order, to watching Duke, Carolina, saying, wow, now that's real pressure. But we have a great fan base, and this is a great program with a storied tradition. I said, you're lucky to be part, but you're an important part of it, Nico, so why don't you just play? And he went, all right, let's practice tomorrow and play. And so we did. That was it. Now you know it. That's it.
Love it. Jimmy Patsos with us. We're live at the TU Center. Sienna Monmouth tonight. The team itself, so you and I haven't had a chance to sit down in a long time.
Javion, let's start out with him because he's been the model of consistency for this team.
Well, yeah, I mean, there was questions early. And I feel like they're starting to get answered and answered the right way. The rebounds are
we
back.
got a long
the
way
tough
to go.
jobs are getting done. Like the things that you said weren't getting done the last time I saw you, which was too long ago. They're getting done now, right? I mean,
we're doing a lot. Well, we learned from a plan. Our schedule. I'm not going to back off. It's the 39th toughest non-conference schedule in the country out of 350, tougher than everybody else's in this whole state. In the state of New York, we have the toughest non-conference schedule. Every school, you name them all. Well, we didn't back down either. We just lost a couple. But on the other hand, sometimes you lose a little confidence, so we have to adjust that in the future. But we want to get quality opponents in here because we have a good fan base. That's why you go to Florida Gulf Coast. That's why you play Hofstra. That's why St. Bonnie's and Albany are always going to be on our schedule because those are 2 cups. Vermont's one of the hottest teams in the country. I think they won the 2nd most games in a row. Well, we play them. I want to play them in Glens Falls next year. Bucknell's in first place. That was a great game. It just was too bad the snow got. But in other words, we took a tough challenge. That being said, we learned from it. But you don't just learn from it and walk out. And Canisius and Niagara are a lot better. We went up there. We had all these games on the road, and then 3 of our first 4 league games were on the road. And so everybody's just like, Sienna's going to be good so they can handle the tough schedule. Well, kids are fragile today.
Right.
We built it, and Javion Oganyemi's been great because his model of consistency has been, we're fine, let's keep going. Clearly, Brett's just a great player. He has great schoolwork and all that. He's a little older. Levon's Levon, Terminator. Keese is getting, better. He had a broken hand. Kadeem Smith had knee surgery. We had a couple guys miss early. Our chemistry wasn't going to be I didn't think it would be that off. We've started doing some little things. We've made free throws down the stretch. Making free throws in college basketball is gigantic, in my opinion. Not just from start to finish, but in the last 4 minutes. We didn't make some free throws. I know I'm the worst coach in America because my guys missed some free throws, but like that's a big swing. And guys, I'm not going to yell at a kid for missing a free throw. I'm not going to tell him he's a bad person. He just happened to miss some free throws down the stretch that cost us some early games. We learned. We're learning. It's not where you start. It's where you finish. I read a lot of different stuff. I'm reading a lot of coaching books, but the team. Hammer, our trainer, Ian Farrell, we've all been in it together. But Javion Oganyemi deserves a little extra credit, in my opinion.
The biggest game so far of the season, before we get into you being the tiebreak on the whole James Dolan, Charles Oakley thing, what has to happen tonight for the Saints?
Well, we need as many fans as we can out there. We got a lot of people coming. And the fans have been great. The crowds have been great. Jeez, there's almost too many people when we walk out. I just didn't think we played. We were almost nervous when we walked out against Iona. And Canisius, the kids fought back hard. I told everybody I was really disappointed in myself, apologized for getting tossed. But we came back, and the fans have been great. I think it's because the fans here are great. And we got to, this is the stretch run, and then, of course, you got the MAC tournament. Mama's just a really good team. You want to see them play. This guy Robinson's on everybody's NBA list. He's smaller. He's going to have to play the point. He's passing a little more this year because I think he knows that's where his future is at 5'8". Right. What and a humble and hungry kid, nice kid, works hard. And then, the kid from Oklahoma, Warren Buckle, and then Seabrook's just Micah's tough Texas kid, red shirt. I like Micah Seaborn. To me is an example of he came in, he didn't complain about anything, he red shirted. Got all his academics and everything, and I don't know what it was, but he redshirted, lifted weights, had a great freshman year. Now he's going to have a good sophomore year. He's following the script of what King writes, who knows what he's doing clearly. One of my friends, a Binghamton guy who went to Carolina. And then they got, Brady and James inside, and then Colin Stewart comes off the bench. But they're just a really, really well-coached team, and they're fun to watch, and they've won a ton in a row. But they've gone to the wire with some teams. That's one thing I said to our players about, you can battle them, but to beat them, you have to do everything right for like 36. You can't have 8 bad minutes or 10 bad minutes, when we've lost this year, we've played like 30 really good minutes. I look at everything in 4-minute segments because there's 10 4-minute segments for the media timeouts. You can have 1, but you can't 2, 3, you're not going to win at this level. You're not going to win. Whether it's an emotional breakdown, it's all about talent, effort, and execution. We have the talent. We're a little older than, we're not the bounciest team in the world, though. Our effort's been 8 out of 10, and our execution's been 8 out of 10. I said, so when in 2017, we made a commitment to execute and have better effort. Our talent level, clearly, with Javion, Marquise, and Levon doing their thing. Brett's got to get back into offensive. Brett Bisping puts a lot of pressure on himself. Really good player, great person. It's not just shooting the ball. The more dirty work he does, the better he is, in my opinion. He's that kind of guy. He's a nose tackle that's got to get in there. You're not getting sacks unless you're going for sacks type guy. He's like a tight end, whatever. He's like
it's like an Oakley. He does the dirty work.
Well, they're getting into that subject, but Kadeem Smith and Nick, I'll tell you what, though, Evan Fisher's been great in practice, but Kadeem Smith, Shivers has been great for us. Hitting big shots. He's emotional. He does the dirty work. So we got a nice little core. We're a little bigger than them, but they're a little faster than us, and that worries me because last time that happened, it was the Vietnam War, and we didn't do so good. Meaning they're quicker, we're bigger, they're quicker. Everybody's like, you're bigger. I'm like, well, I'm reading a lot of books, and that didn't work last time the U.S. went to war. The point is come out tonight and see the Saints play, sure, and we're good, and we appreciate everything, but I just think he's a special player, Robinson, and he's worth coming out for the price of admission. If you're going to make it, the streets are clear, the parking's clear, I'd come out tonight to see him play.
This is one of 3 matchups you could potentially have against Monmouth. Could get them in the MAC tournament later on, and we'll get them on the road in that road
ESPN
game coming up. ESPN 2. What does that mean to your program?
It's huge. It's great for the school. I mean, the school deserves it. The players earned it, so they've done it, and I'm really happy for the players in the school to be on TV. It's good for the program. It gives us more exposure with recruiting, but the players have earned it. ESPN 2 is a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
And it'll be a fun game because they do. Monmouth, great facility. They've got it going, 4,000 every game. They got a beautiful facility, and it's packed. And we like going on the road and playing in those games, but tonight I'm worried about this game.
Coach Jimmy Patsos with us right now, getting ready. Siena Monmouth, the tickets available. Get your butt out here at 7 o'clock tip. You are one of my favorite personalities. You know about dealing with big personalities. Dolan versus Oakley.
Oh, my God. I don't know. How do you let that... Put it this way. How does it get to that situation?
Right? I mean, that's my number one thing. Like, everybody's like, who's right, who's wrong? Everybody's wrong.
You know what? I'm with you. I got Levack. Everybody's wrong.
But if you're Dolan and you know you got a guy who you're now accusing of being an alcoholic, don't you have to...
Well, I didn't know they had all that. I love the Post. I didn't know about all that rift.
Yeah.
Look, I just thought he was a hardworking guy for 10 years. I certainly wouldn't want to play on against him, and I certainly would want him in my locker room or foxhole, being all serious. He's a Division II player, too. He came from Virginia Union, where a kid I coached is now the head coach of Virginia Union.
That's
and
cool.
He gives money back and all that stuff. Jimmy Page is playing there, a guy who's doing really well for us that went to the right level. That guy's a monster player, Oakley, but he got them to the finals. They went to 3 conference finals. He was a great player, and he was their tough guy.
Right.
So I guess what I'm saying is, how did the rift get so bad before that? In other words, I didn't know there was a 2-year rift.
So allegedly, every time Oakley was asked a question about what goes on in the court, he answered honestly. So the team's been a dumpster fire.
I'm a Celtics fan, so
Yeah,
I
so
want
you're kind
Melo.
of loving this whole thing.
Well, I want Melo to come for the playoff run.
Yeah, you're breaking his heart. He's a Q's fan over there.
If I can see Melo win, though, as much as I like the Knicks to win, I want to see Melo have some success at the professional level.
Your team probably doesn't have quite the chance that my team does.
It's probably fair.
True.
Probably
You have
fair
to make the playoffs to win the title. So the Knicks, you can hope and wish that I dream a genie thing, but you have to be in the playoffs to advance. So they're probably going to struggle with that now.
See, you Boston fans, the second you guys get a little bit of
I'm
success,
just a Celtics fan. But I would go play 2 years there because Lala and his kid can stay in New York and you can commute.
Right.
It's really close. LA's too far. Look, I don't know. I just think it'd be great to have him on the Celtics because that's exactly what they sort of need.
right? And he's still a top 10 scorer in the league, depending upon who
Yeah,
he
and he's
has,
good
so.
to play. He's good when he rebounds. I like when he plays the 4. But to go back to Oakley, I don't know. It would be disheartening to see that happen with Bill Russell. Well, that's a different one because he's that good, or Dennis Johnson, or in other words, McHale and all these guys. It must be disheartening as a Knicks fan to see that happen.
Yeah. I mean, and then have Latrell Sprewell sit next to Dolan at courtside. It's like, is that what you really think this is? Is that okay? Well, I'm nice to Spree, so Oakley is we can forget about that, right? Well, he's not the same guy. Like, he's the trivia answer. Who choked PJ Carlissimo? That's who Spree is.
I have no comment on that.
Coach.
But I do want the Knicks to be good because I watch them a lot. But it's I don't think that's, you know what, both sides were wrong, and I talked to our players about that too. And like Rob Poole, who just got a full-time job. Rob Poole played in Poland. He's doing great. He came up here, he accepted a job. He's going to start working full-time. He was at our game. Ryan Rossiter's playing in Japan. He was at our game. Poole was at our shoot-around today. Ryan Oliver, who graduated, is playing and getting his master's in Ireland. You want the Siena program. I talk about how great it is, and we want, Emo Silas is working at ACO. We want everyone to come back, and we want them to do well. And then when they do come back, it's okay. And if Rossiter told me, hey, man, you guys got to play tougher down in the MAC, I listened to him. In other words, I listened to Ryan Rossiter, and that's why I said when we were down 10 at Iona at halftime, I said, you're not dealing with me after the game, you're dealing with Rossiter. So we won. And in other words, you have those guys. Hasbrook comes back. Ronald Moore, I don't know if I can say this, but I hope Ronald Moore joins our staff one day because he's marrying a girl from here. Alex Franklin's been around, who's still playing. But it goes all the way back. Scott Knapp and Grzoulis, who do our radio. This is why this is a great program. And I don't want to see that. The Knicks seem to have lost their way, yet they have a great tradition, and that's too bad.
Well, we love when you make time for us. I know you got to get ready for this one.
I'll come in again, and then we'll do the March thing, and then we'll talk about how the Yankees are going to surprise people.
See, both topics I want to talk about, not Melo to the Celtics.
Thanks. Everybody come out. Justin Ramos. Our kids, I'll tell you what, the kids are doing it. Our players are really doing it. It's funny. They're back in school, and they're really focused, and you can see it, and they're practicing really well, and our energy's good. And yes, Nico's helped us, but it's the seniors, and it's a little bit of everybody, and it's been nice to see. Now we got to perform tonight, and come on out. It'll be a great game.